So, spring training baseball has begun and the world just got a little bit better. But this week, the legislature will do its best to offset that joy as they consider hundreds of budget and tax bills. I'm Todd Myers, the Vice President for Research at the Washington Policy Center, and this is the legislative update for the week of February 23rd. So, last week was policy cutoff, meaning hundreds of bills died in committee, and this week is cutoff for bills in fiscal committees. Just like last week, there is a loophole. Any bill that has a budget impact can be brought back to life later, even if it dies this week. But let's look at some of the key bills being considered, and there are many that would increase taxes and spending by billions of dollars. So the House Finance Committee will be considering several bills that would increase taxes and fees, including allowing a 0.1% sales tax increase for behavioral health, another 0.1% sales tax increase for criminal justice, and another 0.3% sales tax in Seattle and Bellevue, and then a property tax increase of 5 cents per $1,000 of property value for public health. But the big tax they are considering is House Bill 1356, which would remove the 1% cap on property tax increases, increasing that amount to 3%. This would generate about $1.8 billion in new taxes for the state and local governments over the next 4 years. Now, supporters claim that the money is needed to fund schools, but as we pointed out in the report card for Washington's Future, which you can find at washingtonpolicy.org, education spending has increased 39% above inflation over the past decade, and Washington students are still falling behind nationally. More money is not what's needed to help kids. That just helps bureaucracy. In the House Appropriations Committee, there are already 80 bills scheduled to be heard this week. One major expenditure is a $72.4 million to pay for wildland firefighting for the 2024 wildfire season. Now, after each fire season, the Department of Natural Resources submits its costs for the previous season and then is reimbursed. And as we've noted in the past, Washington needs to work with the federal government to improve the health of forests across the state to reduce the risk of catastrophic wildfire. We have a great video on how the Colville tribes manage their forests to reduce the risk of catastrophic wildfire on reservation lands, and it's really a model that the state and federal government should follow. Until then, we will keep paying tens of millions of dollars to fight wildfires. The committee will also hear House Bill 1448 that would allow ranked choice voting in local elections, and House Bill 1607 would create a 10-cent per bottle fee, much like they have in Oregon. There are two bills worth noting that have big price tags and potentially large impact. House Bill 1476 would delay adjusting Medicaid reimbursement rates for nursing homes. Now, this is designed to save money for the state Medicaid program by paying less than they should to nursing homes. Low Medicaid reimbursements are a big problem for healthcare providers, and this is just one way the state tries to cut its own healthcare costs. And it's a good reminder that government-run healthcare programs are very aggressive about cutting costs for care and reducing access to care. Anybody who thinks that a government-run healthcare system would provide better patient care and more access should remember gimmicks like this. Finally, House Bill 1213 would expand the paid family and medical leave program, and make it applicable to all employers. Previously, small businesses had been exempt. The changes would increase the payroll tax by $103 million over the next 4 years. Finally, I'll just highlight a few of the bills being considered in the Senate Ways and Means Committee. It will cost a bit more to enjoy state parks if Senate Bill 5390 passes. It would increase the cost of a Discover Pass by 50%, going from $30 to $45. This would generate about $40 million in increased fees over the next 4 years. And Senate Bill 5583 would also increase the cost of fishing and hunting licenses. Two bills being considered by the Ways and Means Committee would help farmers deal with the costs the state imposes on them. Senate Bill 5171 would increase the reimbursement for ranchers who have lost livestock to wolves. The wolf population in Washington state is now at a level that is considered recovered, and paying ranchers for the damage makes sense until the state can actually delist wolves, as is called for in the state's wolf plan. Senate Bill 5117, which our own agricultural director Pam Lewison has worked on, would create a system to assess the impacts of regulation on agriculture in Washington state so legislators could consider those before passing additional regulations. So that's just a quick snapshot of some of the bills being considered this week by the fiscal committees. These don't even include some potentially large taxes like the wealth confiscation tax that has been proposed and may be proposed later in the session. And those are likely to be introduced next month when budget proposals are offered. And we'll keep you up to date when those actually come out. Until then, you can register your support or opposition to any of what we've talked about, any of the bills being considered, by simply going to leg.wa.gov and choosing the bill and registering your support or opposition, or sending a note to your legislator. And of course, we'll keep you updated during the week as bills get considered. So remember to share this video with others and make sure to like our YouTube channel and check back at the end of the week for Paul Guppy's wrap up on Friday.